Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, the champion, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. This man is a movie snob with a background in fighting and a lifelong addiction to all things superhero related. Presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed host of the show, the Iron Cube.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode number 89 of the Iron Coop Fights movies. This week, the team reviews How to Train Your Dragon 3, followed by movie, television, and video game news. I'm Keo, your host. With me on the show today are my co-hosts Samaritan.
Hey, what's up?
And Everett.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm going to explain our rating system. On this show, we award We've Watched with a rating of win, draw, or loss. A win is a title that we would highly recommend, while a draw is a title we didn't love but recognize others may appreciate. A loss means we do not recommend the title. If you have not seen the review of the week and would like to avoid spoilers, check the show notes for the timestamp so you can still hear our news sections. All right, How to Train Your Dragon is the finale of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. It tells the story of the hidden world that is not the same hidden world that they discover in the first movie, nor the second one, but it's another hidden world. So. Basically, I guess I'll go first. I'm going to give this a win, mainly because it's the first movie that really did anything that I cared about. As I talked about in our bonus episodes for this franchise, I just didn't care about the dragons. Like, I didn't care about their plight and, saving them and whatever's going on with all that. This time around, it dealt with the theme of just basically the theme of the end. And I felt like I could relate to that if you've ever had to say goodbye to someone or, lose a pet or something like that. I could feel that very similar to like in Toy Story, where it's like Andy has to say goodbye to his toys, like that sort of thing.
And then they continue making movies for the foreseeable future.
Well, that was literally the first thing I said at the end of this one was to Jade. I was like, oh, they should make it number 4, which if you know the ending, it's like absurd to make a 4th one at this point. But we'll see. This series has a lot of fans. I thought the animation was fantastic. The graphics. I didn't get to see it in IMAX because the theater was full, but I did see it in 3D. But I'm not even sure if it was available in IMAX. But visually, it has some great scenes. So I kind of wish I would have seen it on like a giant screen. It seemed like it was meant for a bigger screen. So the characters in this time around were a little more enjoyable for me than they were previously. Prior to this film, I think the best point in the franchise was the first movie's training sequences. And here the villain is as good as any of the others, and the action is about on par. So it's really just that the theme of goodbye that's surrounding this film, this finality. Is that a word? Finality? Yeah. That whole sense and tone that's around the film is really what made the difference for me. How about you, Everett?
I was thinking about giving this a draw, but I gave it a win because, like you're saying, it did give me a really big emotional response, and I really did enjoy it, just like the other 2 movies. But I was really close to giving it a draw purely because it does suffer from a lot of the cliches that we've been discussing and seeing. Kind of like honestly, that comment you made in I think it was the last episode we did, where we did How to Train Your Dragon 2, where you said this movie is going to have the villain fall off of something and all that stuff. Like, that comment where you like listed off all the cliches just stuck in my head as I was watching this movie. I'm like, yep, that happened. Yep, that happened too. So I was a little more astute, but I still really enjoyed it. Although there were a few moments that I'll mention that did kind of get on my nerves a little bit.
Okay, Emerson.
Yeah, so it's a win for me. I liked the other two movies quite a lot, and I agree with Everett where there were, some very typical set pieces that the other movies have had that they continued, but I think the animation I definitely noticed. I believe at one point, like looking at Hiccup's hair, like
Yeah.
the way it moved, I was like, oh my God.
I was looking
Like,
at his hair a lot. Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. So the animation was phenomenal. There was a lot more character development. I actually like this villain more than any of the others. Just because he seemed like, I liked how there was this sense of like, oh, he actually knows what he's doing a little more
Was
than...
there a human villain in the first one?
No.
No,
It
well,
was kind of Stoic's dad.
Yeah, his dad or Hiccup's dad.
Because-
Hiccup's dad?
Yeah, Stoic's dad. It was Stoic. What I also really liked in this movie, aside from the deeper themes, was the humor. I thought there were a lot of funny jokes for me, things that I found entertaining, and we can get deeper into that when we talk about spoilers. But yeah, a solid win for me.
Okay, so it's a unanimous victory for How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World. So let's go into spoilers now. First thing I want to ask is, because I can't remember, did the villain fall off of something?
At the end,
yes.
at the end when like they defeat him, as per usual, so Hiccup lets go.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of the best moments. But
fall off.
yeah, he does. But you have to admit that was a very good scene, though.
No,
Like-
I actually believed that Hiccup might die.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh my God, but when he does that and like it's the slow mo and the villain's like tearing his wings off, I was like, this is pretty heavy for a kids movie.
The only reason I realized like he's probably not going to die is because it was the third movie and it was the finale, and I felt like there was no way they're not going to have the scene where like Hiccup and Toothless say goodbye. I'm like, there's no way that scene is not in the movie. So when he was falling, I'm like, someone's going to catch him. But when he let go, I was like, okay, well they did kill Stoic's dad, so maybe it's like they could kill the chief. And now Hiccup's the chief, and it is the third movie, so like this could happen. This could be happening right now. So
Yeah.
I was definitely into that.
I really quite liked that. And
He fell off. Why is that such a trope? Why
I-
do
Well, wait,
I
what were
was
the actual
thinking
tropes that
about
you
it.
came up with? Because the first one was definitely the villain falls off of something. What were the others? Because I know there are like three more.
I mean, I know I said something like, "Hey, let's get our friends back," like something like that. Rescuing their friends. Something
I
but
mean, that happened
here's
too, but-
here's the I mean, I don't think you guys can fault it. It's, as I said before, like it is a kids movie at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And also, the reason I think they're so obsessed with villain falls off into water is because they don't want to show a direct murder. And like the thing is, when they put these villains up, like they also don't want to have them just be like, ah, you beat me, I surrender. So that's a convenient way of like environment kill, where it's like, yeah, he's gone now, problem solved, and we didn't murder this guy.
Yeah, and it's always like they're up there because of themselves, and then when they kind of initiate whatever, like he's ripping at the dragon, and it's only because he's fighting Hiccup that he's even hanging off.
Yeah.
So then Hiccup, I mean, they're finding so many different ways to do that same scene, but I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just funny.
And just speaking of the villain in general, I liked him a lot better than the previous guy. I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name.
But
Drago,
I
I
like
think.
But wasn't he the same sort of like?
no,
thing?
I saw him as different, because the other guy was
He
like,
just wanted to kill
I'm-
the dragons in
Yeah.
this one. Drago wanted to like capture them and make an army.
Yeah, and this guy like he was only in it for the hunt, and like
He just
how
wanted
he was
the Night Furies, though.
he
Well,
wanted
no,
to kill the Night Fury.
Yeah, his whole shtick was that he has killed every other Night Fury on the planet except for Toothless, and he wants what Hiccup wants, like which is like peace on Earth, but he wants to do it by just eliminating the dragons instead of making peace with them.
Also, I liked that he enjoyed himself a little bit, and that he wasn't an idiot. Like when he first showed up and Hiccup had prepared the ambush for him, like when you see him like in the dark of Hiccup's house, I was like, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do? Like this is kind of like a little deeper. He's here, and then Hiccup plays him, but then he's prepared for that. Like I like it, I really do.
I did like how many times they were bested, like the good guys were bested.
And it was interesting too. He was drugging the dragons into submission. Like that was
kinda
very. I know. I thought it was cool because how like
Their own venom.
I think that's super cool.
That doesn't make sense though, because typically creatures that have venom automatically get a tolerance to it. Like rattlesnakes can't be hurt by their own venom.
It's
They
a kids
can
movie.
Be made to forget
Yeah,
who the alpha is.
Yeah, I guess it is a kids movie. I can't really fault it for that, but you know what was actually really impressive for
I mean,
a kids
he needed
movie?
His own dragons.
Well, you know what was really impressive for a kids movie? Do you remember that scene where you're first introduced to the villain and that big ass dragon charges at him? He just turns and shoots it right in the face with his crossbow.
It was like, it was a little whatever. I've seen that so many times now. In films where you just, like the thing stops right in front of him.
Yeah, I think
I read online
liked
though
that
that
scene.
I read online though that in the trailer they had to change it for the movie because in the trailer he actually straight up kills it instead of knocking it out.
Didn't he kill it? I thought he killed it.
Now you can see it twitching. Like they added that in, I think.
Yeah, but I thought that was like it dying. I don't know.
One of the things, Kia, because I like the scene, but I understand what you're saying, where it's like, okay, ooh, he's a badass. What I would have liked a little more is what they were hinting at. He didn't like the warlords who were employing him. He's like, you guys are stupid. I'm not on your same level. It could have been interesting. They wouldn't do this because it's a kids movie, but it could have been interesting if he killed one of the warlords. Like one of the warlords is like, this is stupid. You're just supposed to bring us the dragon. I'm tired of all this nonsense, and he just kills one of them. He's like,
Didn't
no.
he get them back later? Didn't he do something to him?
No, later on what happened is they show up and they're like, where is it? And he's like, it's not here yet, and we'll be fine, don't worry about it. Like, and then he like kind of disdains.
They get trapped in a cage.
Yeah, but that's Hiccup's doing, not his.
Yeah. Okay, so was there a Japanese dragon
Yes,
guy?
there was. Yes, there was.
And a Russian woman? Was she Russian?
I don't remember the woman very well. I remember the stupid man, the giant stupid man, and the Japanese guy.
Was the giant stupid man supposed to be like some sort of Roman or German?
I think he was like a Germanic tribesman. I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh. I think the woman was Russian because she kind of looked samurai-ish. But
She may have been Chinese.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I thought there was something Asian about her, but then like her accent was a little weird, like European, so I wasn't sure. Like it was like a heavy European, so I thought maybe Russian, and she wasn't in red, so it's hard to tell. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So is this story meant to be on like our Earth?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Whatever.
You know what else I noticed that was kind of a little awkward for this movie? So, did you guys notice that T.J. Miller was not in this movie?
Who does he voice?
He was one of the twins, like the boy twin. I forget his name. but
Okay.
The guy who kept saying like, "Look at my beard," like that
Yeah.
guy. He
I like
voiced
that
him
joke.
originally and was not in this movie, and it was kind of weird because he had a much bigger part in this movie, and you could definitely hear the difference, which kind of made it a little weird.
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
found
be honest,
it incredibly
I've-
distracting.
I had no idea there was a different. I thought it was the same voice actor.
No, it was a big loss. He was like, he really made those first two movies.
Kia, be quiet. Stop being a dick.
No, I had no clue, and I don't even remember him in the other two. And
Yeah, I thought it was the same voice actor.
Yeah, that's my point though, is the fact that he had like a background role in the last two movies, and then in this one they gave him a bigger one with a different voice actor. That doesn't make sense.
I think it would have made the movie better if they had just not replaced the voice actor at all, and just never let those characters speak. Those two twins.
I liked the beard jokes. I thought that was funny. Like they overdid it because it was like his only line. But I liked where he's like, "Oh, my facial," and then like when he's giving Hiccup the pep talks, but all he's doing is insulting him the entire time.
You know what joke they overdid and this is one of the moments that I was going to bring up, was that one of his friends kept wanting to like bang Hiccup's mom the entire movie.
That was funny too.
I hated that. It was
I
so
thought that was
annoying.
hilarious.
I've said it before, and I don't like these characters. I don't really care for any of them.
Astrid was good.
She was
Hiccup
better
was
in
good.
this one. Hiccup was, I mean, generic good guy. Not even
And
like
I
heroic
like
good
the
guy, just like
the Smith
good heart.
Viking.
The
Oh, what
Stoic's
his
friend.
Gobber?
Yeah, yeah. I like him. Fine, he's fine. And
He's
then
okay, but he's a character.
Hiccup's mom was good. And that one guy they got, Eric, son of Aaron, or whatever.
He's probably the best one, I think. But I
Well,
still
because he
can't figure
takes
out-
himself seriously, and
Yeah.
he's not overbearing.
I mean, yeah, Kit Harington does a good job.
He had like nothing to do in this movie, though.
Yeah. So I like the suits. Like there were some cool scenes when
Yeah,
he's walking
yeah.
through
The
the
dragon
fire.
armor is cool. That was literally him walking through the fire in that first scene. Was probably the only part of the trailer that even made me want to watch these movies, and like catch up.
Yeah.
Just that alone, and then it happened in the first scene. And I was like, I hope it's not all downhill from here.
But the yeah, and I like the wingsuit, like the combination. It's very cool.
that
very
was
cool.
okay. I really did like the walking through fire thing, and just the helmets too. Helmets were cool.
Well, his helmet was cool, and like Astrid's was.
Yeah.
A lot of their costumes were dumb.
So my favorite scene was probably when they entered the dragon world.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
it was
beautiful.
beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Well, actually, before that, like that was one that was really great, and then before that was when Toothless and the Light Fury were flying in the storm cloud.
Oh, and he triggers his
Yeah,
His-
but you
His,
remember like,
electricity.
but it's all clouds and like thunderstorms and, like that's the first scene that made me think maybe this was meant to be viewed in IMAX, because
Yeah.
you know the graphics. I mean, it looked beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like that. And then yeah,
Those-
the,
yeah.
the dragon world, like especially when the colors changed and
yeah bioluminescence. or
that was
whatever it's
great
called.
too. That was great too. See, there wasn't anything really like that in the other two.
No.
Nothing that made
Well,
me feel
'cause
like it's a new
I-
world.
I think they were trying really hard in this movie because they knew like it was the end.
Yeah.
And another thing, speaking of that, the very ending scene when he's got the beard and he's there with Astrid and their kids, and like there's that moment of like, does Toothless remember who he is? And then like I was okay with that as an ending scene. I really was.
Did
Yeah,
you
it was a
think
good
it was
ending.
way too long for Toothless to remember him?
Well, it had been at least like how many years do you think
I
that would have
thought the
been?
idea was that dragons are like as smart as humans or whatever. So I was like, it makes sense.
But it's like, it's Hiccup and Astrid, obviously. I mean, he has a beard, but that's it.
Yeah, you don't know. And like I like the idea that Toothless is there to kill people who are coming to the hidden world. He responds with initial violence. That would have been
yeah.
a wicked ending if he gets beheaded by Toothless because Toothless is forgotten, and then
Him and Toothless and his kids, I'm like, I don't know if he needed to have kids, but
it doesn't do any harm. They need to reproduce. He's the last of his species or
yeah, it's okay.
subspecies
It just seems kind of weird.
that he had kids.
And like, how long do they
Oh, I thought
live?
you were talking about Hiccup.
No, Toothless's kids.
I don't know how long they live. I think forever.
No, not forever. I mean,
Do
sure,
we ever see a
dragons
dragon
have to
die
like
of old age?
probably like more than humans, but definitely like a long lifespan probably.
What did you guys think about the whole like goodbye thing?
I think it was needed.
I mean,
think it was a
Jade,
good
Jade was
ending.
crying.
Wait, which goodbye are we talking about?
Not the one before you see him with the beard.
Oh, where he... It was good, but it was nothing to call home about.
I really didn't care because again I just didn't care about the dragons that much. But as I said last week, that Toothless kind of reminded me of my dog. And I like sort of thought about him, and then I thought about all the other dogs that I've like said goodbye to or whatever, and then I was like, oh fuck this movie, like now it hit home, and then Jade was like already like crying and like covering her face and shit, and so for a second there the movie definitely got me. I would say about on par with Toy Story, like the ending of Toy Story or whatever, but the thing is, Toy Story does that to you in every film, basically. Whereas this one didn't like it got me for that one scene out of 3 movies. So
It might as well win at the end, though.
sure, yeah. But so another thing is, were you guys keeping track of how many swords or sword battles occurred where no one got hit with a sword?
Yes, I actually very was like looking at that. And once again, I get it. I get that they're not going to do violence. It's not for them, but it becomes like, why even bother with the sword battle at that point?
Yeah, like anyone with a sword hits a shield, but anyone with like a bat or a hammer or something, they like hit the other person.
Yeah.
And they'll like fly into walls and stuff, but no one ever got stabbed, and it was like, I'm surprised you guys thought, because when I was thinking that, I'm like, I'm being so nitpicky right now. No one else is gonna notice this.
I mean, I had a thought like that in the second movie, because I thought like, wow, they gave him this kick-ass flaming sword, and then he never used it.
I like the
I
sword.
think
So I was thinking that like,
I think they gave him the flaming sword specifically because then he can like attack people and it doesn't stab them. I'm serious. I bet that was like a thought point.
I liked how he had to like reload the cartridges.
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked his gear. I read somewhere like people were saying, I found this subreddit actually called Fixing Movies, and I'm not saying that everything on there is actually good. Like for example, for this movie, they were saying, like it should have been the entire, I don't know, what do you call them? The entire civilization of Vikings, whatever, the tribe.
The Burkians?
Are they a tribe? Yeah, the Burkians. It should have been all of them in wingsuits, like attacking, instead of just like 4 people. And I don't know that the movie needed that.
Well, I might not agree with that, but I was thinking about, I was like, you have like the tribe was 100 strong. There's all these giant muscly men. When is someone else gonna like wage war? You can all fly dragons.
Yeah.
Like when is there gonna be some pillaging? Like when they said at the beginning of the movie, when they said they were gonna have to pack up and leave, for some reason I thought they were gonna like invade England, because that sacking of Linsenbury or the monastery. Yeah. So I don't know if you knew this, but the document that describes it says that the Vikings came on dragons.
Oh, really? Oh, that would be interesting.
It said that the Vikings came on dragons, and I only know this because I was reading the source a few days back for one of my classes, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna go to England, they're gonna come on dragon, and then no, they just found another island.
Dude,
that would have actually been really cool. Now
I know it's on like, I'm gonna probably start it this week, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I saw that one clip and I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better. The show's way better than that one clip too. So I really was impressed with the Beatles references that they had in this movie.
You're gonna need to tell me that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain it.
Are you guys familiar with how the Beatles broke up?
Not
it's
really.
Yoko Ono, right?
Oh yeah, was it Yoko Ono?
Yeah.
I mean, there was also a shooter, but
No, that was after. So apparently, they were inspired by the Beatles because the Light Fury Yoko Ono the fuck out of the fucking Berg goes down.
Yeah,
because
he's
fucking
right.
Yoko Ono over there breaks up the dynamic duo.
Yeah, and like, and Toothless really is like, oh, it's a woman. Bye bye, everybody.
Yeah, he got Yoko'd, man. He
he got Yoko'd. Buy the shirt now.
I mean,
Hiccup
that
is
female
all my
knife reader
heart,
doesn't actually have a name, so you might as well call her Yoko Ono.
dude, dragons before bros. What is it now?
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
bros-
Toothless didn't get assassinated by like a fan.
That would have been funny. Like after he protects the humans, the dragons become disgruntled.
No, like that friend that wants to bang Hiccup's mom. He
Yeah.
like kills Toothless to impress the mom, and she's like, "I had no idea who that guy was."
Oh my god.
Oh
Because
god.
isn't it like some guy wanted to impress Jodie Foster or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was insane. Like
Yeah,
after
oh,
he
for sure.
shot
Well,
John
yeah,
Lennon, he just
obviously.
sat down with a book. He sat down with Catcher in the Rye. That's what he had on him when they arrested him.
Sometimes when I read books, I get in the mindset of the character for like a week or two after. And I remember when I read Catcher in the Rye, I did feel like I was a crazier person for like a little, because he's kind of nuts. Like he sees things.
I
through
thought
a
you were gonna
weird
say
lens.
you like read a book about like the guy who killed Lennon, and you're like, I kind of wanted to kill Lennon, you know?
Oh no.
No, but I know what you mean.
But I do have to warn like anyone who has a family, any women listening, I have to tell you not to see this movie because Hiccup is actually a sexual offender. At one point in the movie, he actually he makes sexual advances on Astrid, and she tries to crawl away, and he actually, against her will, pulls her back.
Where are you? What is the point of this?
I'm just this is the start of the Me Too movement against Hiccup, and like we should boycott this film because we can't have role models like Hiccup for our children. Men have to know that when a woman says "leave me alone," even if you're joking, it's rape. So
Yeah, just be quiet.
basically what
You're
happened
digging
was,
yourself into some sort of hole.
basically Hiccup raped Astrid on screen, and everyone in the theater just sat there, and I was personally offended, so I want to know what Hiccup is going to say to me about
Have you
it.
seen that book that is going around called Damn?
No.
Destroy a man's life, or just like destroy a man, and it's like basically it's clickbait in book form, but it basically like describes how to like accuse someone of sexual assault.
I mean,
Jesus.
based on what I saw, I wouldn't be surprised if Hiccup is like showing his dick to people.
Okay, I'm so utterly. What is your goal here?
Yeah,
why
where's
are
this
you
going?
doing this? Like, why?
I just thought it was weird that was in the movie. Like he like in today's climate, he's like I'm not actually offended by it, but I'm sitting there and he's like come back here, and he's like holding her against her will, and she's like struggling against his grip, and it's like I don't know, it just something about it. I was like, really, that made it into the movie, huh? It wasn't even cute. Like in all honesty, like it wasn't even a cute scene. It was they weren't really being that playful.
Okay, I will admit it was somewhat strange. It felt like someone had said like, "Hey, we should have like a playful scene here," and they're like, "Okay." What I liked a lot more were their interactions where like he was freaking out and she was like, "You need to calm down,"
Yeah.
like supporting him.
Well, I heard that in the original script there was a scene where Hiccup can't even
You can't even
You
get
can't
to
even
whatever
get it out.
you're about to try to fucking bullshit. Please
I was like,
continue.
Hiccup asked if he could masturbate in front of her.
Oh my god.
Why?
By the way,
What
can we
happened to
just
this being a
applaud-
kids movie?
Can we just applaud how one note of a character all the women are in this franchise?
That is true. They all do have like the one defining character trait.
You know what? I mean, I'm gonna keep the rating a win, but honestly, there's nothing in this film other than that, like the goodbye, which is almost like low hanging fruit. Because show me any movie about like just start the film at the scene where the kid is saying goodbye to his dog, and I'm gonna feel the same way. And like, Oh, speaking of which, let's talk about those fucking previews. God
Oh
damn.
my God.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
why
So
would-
I have a
Fucking
few
preview.
things to say here.
First of all, why is that woman so fat in that movie?
That's what I was, that's exactly.
I was gonna say,
what
why
I
would
was
they
thinking.
play that trailer in front of a kids
No,
movie?
you can tell. Okay, there must be because we don't tend to see these type of animated movies a lot. We really don't. We're usually like you can tell that these trailers. There are probably a ton of them that we never see, like that we really never see because they're not targeted towards us based off the movies we go to usually. But
But lately,
when
goddamn.
okay, so first of all, let me explain my experience. I go into the theater and I go out at about like a 3 o'clock showing, and my thought process is, oh, there probably won't be a ton of little kids. I was wrong, so screw that. The theater was packed, and I had a kid on my left with his dad, and I had a mom and her 3 daughters on my right, and I was just like, this is fantastic. And every kid thought like, yeah, like they wouldn't shut up. But anyways, all the trailers disgusted me. But I don't even believe in God, and I'm a fat woman, and now my prayer page has gone viral, and medicine can't save him, but God can, said the anti-vaxxer screaming into the, and here's Topher Grace doing something stupid. Like, I literally started laughing. I can't take it seriously. And like, if I really wanted to get deep down in it, you know what? Those parents are racist piece of shit. I guarantee, because you know what? They adopted that kid and they forced their religion on him. That's what the movie's about. The movie's about fucking taking children and forcing the white Christian religion upon them because only the white God will save you if you pray to him. No, none of these other people will. It's the white God. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that trailer in my theater too, when Topher Grace goes, yeah, this kid is lit, it just reminded me of the time that I said it and Kia never let me hear the end of it.
is it illuminated?
Like every time he says lit now.
But yeah, when that line, every time when he's like, well, so you're saying God saved you? He's like, but I don't even believe in God.
Yeah, and he gets like kind of a southern drawl while he says it, and I'm like, Luke Cage, go back to Netflix. Like, go away. What a horrible role to get. You know that he's like, maybe he's Christian. I don't know.
How to bomb an actor's career in 30 seconds.
Okay, but I saw that, so I actually took a video of it as a joke. And then I get this text. And it says, there's another talking dog one. And
Yeah, I got that
I
trailer
felt
too.
ice in my veins when you said I was like no, and I didn't understand what you meant. I was like, please tell. Like at first I was like, what if it's an alternate trailer of the one we've already seen? And I was like, I could probably get through that. It's stupid, but and then I'm like, no. What if there's another? And then the fucking dog, and they doubled down on this shit. The dog's reincarnating across multiple lives.
That happened in the first movie, to be honest.
Is this religious? There's a first movie?
Yeah, that happened in the first movie.
Is it called The Dog's Way Home?
It's called A Dog's Purpose. I actually saw that movie in theaters.
Okay, what was the last movie with the girl and the mountain lion?
That was different, I guess.
Where they crossbreed and create the ultimate pet, loyal
I
but
guess it was a
dangerous.
spin-off, and I guess it wasn't good enough because I guess they did a sequel to the first
Okay, well,
one.
this is dumb as hell. I don't like the reincarnation. I don't care about like whatever family-friendly nonsense they're trying to like. Oh, come look! There were super religious vibes in it. Like it's a dog movie, but it's basically the same as the God's Not Dead series.
Dog's Not Dead.
I was sitting in the theater just thinking like after the Jesus one came by, I was like, oh, at least that other dog movie came out, so like I'm safe from that one. And then literally the next trailer, it like cuts to a dog and he's like, my name is Doofus. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then and I'm listening to it and it's fucking Dennis Quaid and I'm like, oh my god, it's another dog movie. I can't believe this is happening to me right now. And like and then God, that song, that For You.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
That is
Philip
like
Phillips.
the tropiest fucking song for all these shitty movies that are just like this.
Exactly.
I hate that song.
And
That song
here's
was in
the other
Spider-Man.
problem.
That song was in Spider-Man. I hated it.
Yeah.
Here's the other problem, okay? The other trailers I saw were not good either. There's it's called like I don't even know what the hell the movie's called. It's got
There was the one
Pitbull.
like it was like it's like that animated movie where it's
it's
they're
like the
they go to
ugly
that
monsters.
theme park, Wonder Park.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
the theme park one is awful.
I didn't see Wonder Park. I didn't see that. But
That's
what
the
I
one.
did
It's
see-
the one. It's the one where
funny.
Yeah, if you didn't see
What
it,
I
then
s-
it's
what
not
I
fun.
what I see is like the Institute of Perfection, and they're like ugly like animals,
Oh, that- I've
and
seen
like
that, yeah.
they all have like musical moments, and Pitbull is unironically in the movie, and every time he talks, I'm like, huh, and I'm just like I was
Are you
disgusted
talking
by
about the Ugly Dolls movie?
that might be
That's
it
it,
if
yeah.
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It looks miserable. I'm like I don't care.
Yeah, like.
And then what else?
I know what you're talking about. It's
Oh
horrible.
my god. We saw Secret Life of Pets trailer came out. Now
Yeah,
I
saw that
like the
too.
first one.
No, yeah.
hated
I
the
like the
first
first
one.
one too. I like the first one too. And I didn't dislike the trailers because the trailers seemed to be kind of a little more like my taste of humor. I thought, but this stupid trailer, right? So they have like some funny moments where like the person's like, "Oh, you're going to a farm upstate," and I was like, "Oh," and then they actually go to a farm upstate,
That's a
and
joke,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is funny. I like it. But then, like, and it's got Harrison Ford, by the way.
Yeah.
But there's this moment where, like, this cow, like, does something, like, and you can tell how targeted it is at children because the humor that children like and that these movies go for is, like, character makes strange noise while doing stupid pose. And it's
Yeah,
like,
the dog
yeah.
talks
And, like,
down to the cow and the
immediately,
cow
like, an
talks
instant,
back.
Instant
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, and then the cow's like, and every single kid in the theater was screaming with laughter, and I was like, I'm ready for movies to be direct to my house now.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, the kids that were in my theater were dead quiet at that trailer. Not a single laugh out of any
I
of them.
had
they're
one
all
little girl in my
vegetarian.
theater just babbling the whole time.
Just
Just babbling. And they took her out like 5 times. I'm like, just go home. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's Friday night.
That's when you break out the duct tape.
It's Friday night on a like opening weekend. Why don't you bring up some other time? You guys want to see How to Train Your Dragon that fucking bad? So yeah, I mean, I know we haven't been talking about the movie, but is there anything else about How to Train Your Dragon? I think
No,
I don't
I
think
think
there's
we
going to be a
covered
number
it.
4, and
There
it had a
shouldn't be.
cute ending, and that's about all I can really say about the trilogy, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm excited for the fight of the week, though.
Okay, fight of the
Are
week.
you? Yes. Okay. I was like, are we getting into that? All right. So Kia, you are in my. Okay, well let me give you some backstory here. So I was thinking about this and I was like, well, maybe Kia should be the dragon hunter, and I was like, well, that seems kind of easy. Like you just don't make mistakes and just kill people. But then I was like, oh, it'd be even better. All right, Kia, you are. This is gonna be weird. I'm just telling you, okay? You are stoic, resurrected from the grave. All right.
Okay.
And you must kill all the dragons. Like, remember how Stoic wanted to find the hidden world and, like, kill them all or, like, seal it or do something so they're gone forever?
Oh my god. Okay.
Your objective, you're Stoic resurrected. Let's assume that a good amount of Vikings will follow you. You must destroy the dragon race. You know where the hidden world is. Hiccup does not know you're back yet, but you can assume he'll find out. What do you do?
How to kill all the dragons? Is that the new trilogy? How to kill your dragon? Okay, so let's think about this. There's obviously ways to control the dragons.
Like, there's like 50 of them, actually. You can befriend them, you can torture them, you can make an alpha do it, you can
Yeah.
drug them,
So
you
there's
can
a couple
have
steps.
sex with them.
You have to get your own alpha. So you have to identify an alpha, however long that takes. And
Okay.
then you have to kill Toothless
Yes.
because he's the alpha. So you kill him, then you take over. I mean, killing Toothless is going to be very difficult.
Yes.
I don't think Vikings can do it.
Oh, you can. Here's what you do. You watch Hiccup for like 2 weeks, and you see when he feeds him, what he feeds him. Then you just poison the food. And then
But he's not living with Hiccup anymore, right?
I'm assuming this is in like the like end of the movie or like the midpoint of the movie. Well, I guess if it's
Well, is this-
after,
Okay.
yeah, let's say it's after, so he's not living with Hiccup anymore. So you're right. However, he's got some kids now, and he's been shown that he'll like obey rather than hurt his like lady dragon. And he has kids. You know, you could torture some people. You could make some hostages.
Okay. Okay, so he's not with Hiccup now, right?
No.
The Light Fury is difficult to capture. And they're all in the hidden world now, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, okay, first of all, what are they eating down there?
Each other.
Yeah, they are eating each other, right?
They have to be.
Or like
There's
fish
no-
or something. They're under an
they're
ocean.
Yeah, but like some of them are so big, they have to be
Yeah.
eating each other. There's no way it isn't cannibalism fucking mania down there.
Jesus
It's a dragon eat dragon world.
I mean, I can't get my mind away from like some sort of bomb, but I know they don't have those.
You want to know what I was thinking about at the end when he said like, "Until the world's better to see them." I was like, you know what would be a really good short, like How to Train Your Dragon, but like there's a fighter jet, and it's just like shooting down the dragons, and they have to like try to stop it.
Yeah, that'd be like fighter jets with dragons. Yeah, that could be cool.
That could be cool.
How to get in there? I don't. You need a dragon to even get in, don't you?
Not necessarily. It would help.
I mean, what's he gonna do? Climb down a rope?
Now, I had a theory. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That appears to be the only entrance to the hidden world, according to the movie. Okay?
Right.
Now, what you could do here is you could get poison. A ton of poison. And just start pumping it in. Just start pumping everything you got in. Poison, pollution, smoke, it doesn't matter. And then what you do is you set up a bunch of boats with some ballista around, and as they fly out, you hit them with the ballista. Or conversely,
Turkey shoot him.
you could go in there and you could start trying to collapse the supports around the tunnel cave, so like it just blocks them in for good.
I mean,
Or-
it is a hole in the ocean, right? If you just destroy a couple rocks and stuff, wouldn't all the water just flood into the cavern
Let's
and
just-
eventually flood
Let's
it?
just split the difference. Let's get a bunch of poison, kill Hiccup, fill his body with the poison, then like stuff him so he looks like he's like standing upright,
Oh my
and then put him in a boat, push it off the edge, let him fall into there, and then Toothless will be like, "What the fuck?" And then as soon as he like touches him, it'll explode, and the poison will just like pass on to everybody, including
You're gonna give the dragons the
baby
equivalent of
children.
like HIV or something?
Well, that's another thing, but because like the dragons aren't with us, but yeah, I was thinking maybe like a sexually transmitted disease, but they didn't live among us. So, did the person who got AIDS from monkeys? Did they also give a disease to the monkey?
The monkeys already had it. They had their own version, like before.
That didn't kill them.
No, it did.
Oh, they already had their own illness.
I mean, you
Yeah,
never
they
know.
had their own. But when it jumped to humans,
Yeah.
that's when it became AIDS.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Think about it for a second. Those other dragons that they were getting the poison from, like, they create the poison biologically. So in a way, if you inject someone with that, that's like sharing blood almost, because blood's also biological. Wouldn't that mean that you could have got like given all the dragons like AIDS or something from that?
You could also do like a War of the Planet of the Apes scene where they like attack them in the caves, and so like have some like commando stealth type attack.
A couple
You know, the
hundred
reason
years
that
down the
this is
line,
so
the
hard-
dragons come
yeah.
back out. And
The
there's like
reason
a
this is so
warship
hard is
sitting
because we
there.
don't have guns. If we had guns, like it's
We
game
also
for them.
can't realistically make it all the way to the dragon world. They went through a lot of shit to get there.
Okay,
They went
wait,
to-
wait,
I'm
wait.
pretty sure they went through
Dude,
the
there is-
quantum realm
there is a-
at some point.
There is a fundamental weakness in the dragons' plans, okay? All their babies, their breeding ground is before you get to where the adults are. Which means if you get in there,
Oh, yeah.
you could kill all
Yeah.
the eggs.
Yeah.
I feel like one match would like set
We're
that
horrible.
shit
We're
ablaze.
just discussing how to genocide a species right now. Dude, PETA would kill us.
Emerson, what was that movie you told me about where like the paramilitary like descend from above into hell like through the hole they make?
Oh, it's the one where they fight werewolves, right? At the
Yeah,
start.
that one. You imagine like
I don't remember
a couple
what it's
hundred
called.
years, like a couple hundred years down the line, you like
I
a
was
whole breaches
legit-
into there, like a Huey helicopter comes down and drops soldiers.
I
in.
was actually thinking about this as I was going back. I was like, it would have been a cool movie. I want to see fighter jets versus dragons. I want to see I don't know.
Well-
I just had this image in my mind of like a jet with like the dragon heads on it instead of the fighters like for the ace. And like you get the situation where it's like, can we outfly them?
I don't know about.
Have you ever seen Reign of Fire with Christian Bale?
That's what we're
You
gonna
know, like
see
that
next
big
week.
dragon from the first movie.
Didn't I bring this up a few weeks ago?
No.
Maybe it wasn't on the podcast. I thought I spoke about it with one of you,
I don't know.
and like you guys didn't know what it was. Have you seen it?
Reign of Fire with Christian Bale? I love
Yeah.
it. And Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
And Matthew
Maybe I was
McConaughey?
speaking to it with Everett. I thought I brought it up, and I was like, because that's the movie I was going to recommend for next week.
Let's do it.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to our roundup. So Everett,
All right.
I've been watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. So on Hulu, there's Kitchen Nightmares, the American version, and then on Amazon Prime, there's the UK version. So if you have both, you can watch both. But I really like the UK version better. But I was just watching it with Jade, and she's like, it's not better. It's kind of boring. But the thing about the American version is they put that like stupid dramatic music.
Yeah,
and-
like didn't
yeah.
you tell me once that like the UK version actually like helped you learn how to run a restaurant?
Yeah, it like shows Gordon like he actually is in interviews with people like hiring chefs, and he talks about how you price the meals and what sort of portions and like how do you streamline things, and they do a little bit of that in the American version, but like I literally I was watching the UK for a few days and then I switched back to the American one, and it's like shaky cam, and every scene is like people yelling and the camera's like chasing Gordon and this super dramatic music, and there's a lot of recapping all the time, constantly. Like our American audience is too stupid to remember what they just saw. Like why do they keep recapping? So I don't know. Jade likes the American version better, so I guess different strokes, you know. But
There are a few pretty good episodes of the American version, though. You got to admit.
well, there's Amy's Baking Company. I mean, it's all entertaining. It's just like the UK version is quieter. Like they actually allow moments of the characters, like when Gordon's talking to people and they don't really have an answer for him. Like it'll just sit there for like 5 seconds in silence as the two people like kind of stare at each other.
Yeah.
And, like I don't know, it's more real. And he's also not as much of an asshole. Like I don't know why. It seems like he plays it up for the American, or they edit it that way. But in the
Well,
UK,
I forget, like, because did he start doing Hell's Kitchen before or after he started doing the American version of Kitchen Nightmares?
he did Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares first in the UK. I think that was what made him like more famous.
Okay.
And
So
then
do you
they
think
brought
that
him over.
maybe, I mean, I might have the timelines fucked up here, but maybe like it just evolved. People like seeing him scream at people in Hell's Kitchen. And
Yeah,
that's
well,
just
I
Oh,
mean,
they
that's like
definitely
what he's-
liked it.
That's what he's known for now, completely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's an asshole in the UK version too. He's just not as over the top as they depict him in the American. I'm pretty sure it's editing making him that way, because he'll literally look at people and be like, "Are you stupid?" Like he'll say it like that, and like that's pretty harsh. But in the American version, he's like, "You are the dumbest person that has ever walked on the face of this planet, that's ever like stood in front of me, that ever spoke a word."
It
Like,
becomes meaningless when it's that muss. It's like,
yeah. And then the music's like dun dun dun.
And the people like talk back every once in a while and like insult him back. Like they all have the same thing in common. They all at the beginning go, "Gordon's an idiot. I know more about what I'm doing than he does."
Yeah,
And then it just falls apart.
And like the motivation in the UK version is always about like the restaurant. They're always like, yeah, I want to be a chef, and this is what I believe in, blah blah blah. It's always about that. And the American version, it's always like, my parents died like 10 years ago, and like I just really want this for them. And I'm like, none of it really has anything to do with the restaurant. And then they just get like angry, and there's a meltdown every episode, and like someone always wants to fight, and I don't know, like it just feels cheaper. Like I'm watching a cheaper show. But anyway, there was one. I forget what the restaurant was called, unfortunately, but the guy was like super friendly, and he ran like a kind of like a, it was almost like a frat, even though there was women there, but it was like that kind of vibe in the kitchen. It was kind of wild. And then you can look up to see if the restaurants are still open or not. And I looked that one up, and not only was it not open, but like a few months later, the guy jumped off a bridge.
Oh my god.
And
my
it
God.
was revealed that he had an affair with one of the waitresses. Like, shit went down on that one.
Jesus.
Yeah, there was one in Moore Park, just like right by us. That was one of them.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about the Oscar winners recently announced tonight.
All right.
I'm just gonna read them.
Yeah, there's a lot of anger on the movies subreddit about it, by the way.
I haven't even looked.
I'm happy about a couple of them.
Let's just read some of them. Sound mixing, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Documentary feature, Free Solo. Makeup and hairstyling, Vice. Costume design, Black Panther. Cinematography, Roma. Production design, Black Panther. Original song, Shallow from A Star Is Born. Original score, Black Panther. Dude, First Man, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I was like screaming at the TV, like First Man should have won that.
First Man.
Black Panther, I feel like
that's
just getting a
bullshit.
little overinflated.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Documentary short, period, end of sentence. Live action short, Skin. Animated short, Bow. We saw that in front of some other animated movie. Do you guys remember which one? Where the mom eats the dumplings?
Yeah, I was in front of
No.
Incredibles.
Incredibles? Okay.
That one won? I thought that one didn't win.
It says, wasn't that Bow? I'm pretty sure it was Bow. Film editing, Bohemian Rhapsody. Visual effects,
Oh, I
First
guess it was.
Man. I mean, I'm glad it won something. It should have won Best Score too. Sound editing, Bohemian Rhapsody. Animated feature, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's
Yeah,
good.
That was well deserved.
Foreign language film, Roma. Adapted screenplay, Black Klansman. That's another just like... I mean, it seems like, Hollywood and liberalism and whatever, but honestly, Black Klansman fell apart in the third act. Did you guys see it? Did we all see it?
No, you were the only one who
I was
saw
just-
it.
It's not even like it's based on a true story, but then it does a bunch of stuff that's not even true at all, and I don't know, whatever. Original screenplay, Green Book. Supporting actress, Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk, which we should probably watch at some point. Supporting actor, Mahershala Ali, Green Book. Actress, Olivia Colman, The Favorite, which is interesting because she wasn't even like the main character, I thought. I'm really surprised. Like, she was great in it. She should have won maybe supporting actress. I'm surprised she
Yeah.
was nominated for Best Actress. What's her name is the best? Who's Gwen Stacy?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone was the main character, I thought. And besides her, it was Rachel Weisz and then Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
Best Actor, Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody. Did we vote for someone else?
It was out of that. I mean, Christian Bale got nominated, I think.
Who did we vote for? I'm checking our annual awards. Best costume, best casting, best. Well, we picked it from superhero, so we picked Josh Brolin. Yeah, we didn't do a best actor overall. Yeah, okay. I mean, Rami Malek was great. I feel like there was someone else though. Who else was nominated? Do you know, Everett?
What was this for best
Best actor.
main actor?
Yeah.
I'm looking up the nominees.
Oscar best actor.
It was Bradley Cooper, Willem Dafoe, Viggo Mortensen, Rami Malek, and Christian Bale.
Say those again a little slower.
Bradley Cooper, Willem Dafoe, Viggo Mortensen, Rami Malek, and Christian Bale.
So, Emerson, did you think Viggo Mortensen deserved over Rami Malek?
It's hard to tell because both of them are phenomenal. You know what? No, I think that Rami Malek gets
Yeah.
it just because everyone knew who he was. Like,
Yeah.
and like he was trying to be a real person, whereas Viggo Mortensen, well, he was also being a real person. There wasn't that like public knowledge there.
Yeah. What about Everett? What about Christian Bale?
He was my number 2 behind Rami Malek just because it was impressive what he had to go through to look exactly like Dick Cheney and act exactly like Dick Cheney.
Well, I
like
mean,
that
just
was
because
impressive.
based on the criteria that Emerson just mentioned, Dick Cheney, there's a lot of the same challenges there,
Yeah.
especially in like transforming your appearance and all that. So you put Rami above him,
Yeah, I put Rami above him.
and I think we all put Bradley Cooper behind Rami Malek.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see William Dafoe in At Eternity's Gate. You'd think that he would win whatever he did if it was worth not being nominated for. Best Director, Alfonso Cuarón, Roma. We should probably watch that. Best Picture, Green Book. Emerson.
Did you hear how
Yeah.
Spike Lee
Green
tried to
Book
storm
better
out?
than First Man. What'd you say?
I think Green Book got the win it deserved. I really did.
Well, I've heard a lot of people saying like
Everyone's angry about it. They're like, "Oh, it got stolen." They said, "I
Black
can."
Panther should have won.
Actually, there are a lot of people screaming that Black Panther should have won.
Nope.
I don't understand it. There's also a lot of people screaming that Roma should have won.
Maybe.
There's other people yelling that Black Klansman should have won. I don't
No,
understand.
hell
I
no.
think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, Spike
I
Lee
don't-
tried to
there's-
storm out when they announced it.
Yeah.
What a
there's-
little bitch.
Yeah. There's something behind. There's a reason people are angry that's like something to do with like. People are like, oh, well, the story was written by white people or something. I didn't fully understand
Book?
it. Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing about Green Book. It's basically Driving Miss Daisy, except the racist person is in the front of the car now. And what you guys probably don't remember about Driving Miss Daisy, and this is just stuff I keep hearing from like other people. Driving Miss Daisy came out the same year as Glory. And Glory did a lot more for like the black image. Morgan Freeman was in that. It's about the Civil War. Do you guys know? You guys remember
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
So that was a real movie about black people and black history and black image. And then Driving Miss Daisy was more of just like a fluff film, that the kind of film Hollywood likes. And so that ended up winning. But Morgan Freeman was like, the work I did this year was on Glory. Like, not, like Driving Miss Daisy was like nothing compared to what I did for Glory. And I think most people felt that way, even though Driving Miss Daisy, for people who are I'm not saying that they're racist, but they're kind of like out of touch with what racism really is. Then they see a movie like this or The Green Book and they go, oh, I feel for them. Like that movie really opened my eyes. And to them, it's like a big deal. But for people like black people who are feeling racism and feeling oppressed or whatever, a movie like Green Book, it's like that movie's about the white guy, you know? I'm assuming. I didn't see it, but that's what I've heard. Is that
Okay.
So I'm reading an article right now on
Wait,
CNN.
what was Emerson
about-
going to say? Because you saw Green Book.
I was gonna say like I recognize what you're saying, and also I've found where a large portion of the controversy is supposedly coming from.
Okay, what is it?
So there is a lot of like this is just Driving Miss Daisy, but additionally, a lot of the family members of the character that Marshala Ali plays, they said that it's a symphony of lies and it's like a whitewashed version of the story. And then I guess that Farali and Nick Valonga, who are like two of the people, Farali was the director and Nick Valonga was he was the person that Viggo Mortensen was playing. Attracted negative headlines over an apparent dirty practical joke he used to pull on sets and for an anti-Muslim tweet.
What the? I couldn't even follow what the hell that was.
Basically, they made some poor jokes, a dirty practical joke, and an anti-Muslim tweet.
Who did?
The director.
Of Green Book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a winner now. So, okay, let's just move on. Trailers. There was a Lion King extended TV spot, which is basically just that scene of Rafiki holding up Simba, just slightly more extended. Moving into news, Gwyneth Paltrow has made some headlines lately. Have you guys heard of this?
Yep.
Let me find the stupid thing. Gwyneth Paltrow says she's leaving the Marvel Universe after Avengers Endgame. I mean, I'm a bit old to be in a suit and all that at this point, which means that she's in a suit. I feel very lucky that I did it because I actually got talked into it. I was friends with Jon Favreau. It was such a wonderful experience making the first Iron Man, and then to watch how important it has become to fans. If they said, "Can you come back for a day?" I will always be there if they need me. So it's like, so she basically said nothing, but of course people like posted it everywhere. And then later she says, Gwyneth Paltrow says she'd return as Pepper Potts for Robert Downey Jr. Maybe she's in contract negotiations or something, and
Is trying to.
Yeah, she like posted an Instagram picture of her and Robert Downey Jr. and she's like, I will be this guy's Pepper anytime he needs me. So
She's being weird as hell.
yeah,
Gwyneth Paltrow is not exactly one of the
like,
most
who
normal
cares?
people.
You're Pepper Potts. Your movies are done. Like, you're lucky that you're even in these movies at this point, and no one's talking about you otherwise. You can go sell your like stupid Tupperware or Herbalife thing.
Oh, there's a big controversy that she's getting a Netflix show
Why? About what?
because she's promoting pseudoscience
Oh, Jesus.
in the show.
Oh boy. Okay. So one thing to clear. Oh, so Tom Holland gave us somewhat of a spoiler about Avengers Endgame, where he was talking about Benedict Cumberbatch and how Benedict's lines were a lot harder than his because he got to just say like funny things, and Benedict had to actually talk about the quantum realm and stuff. And the thing is, Doctor Strange never spoke about the quantum realm in Infinity War. So, like that, we're gonna see the other characters in the next one, and they're gonna speak. So we know that. Punisher. There's an interesting thing going on here. So the deal for the original 4 Marvel shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, included a clause that keeps the characters from appearing in any non-Netflix series or film for at least 2 years after cancellation. So for 2 years, wherever they go, they cannot appear for 2 years. As a spin-off of Daredevil, the Punisher is not part of that arrangement.
Interesting.
So, yeah, we'll see if the Punisher returns before then. I don't think so, but I thought that was interesting. Let's talk about Black Widow and her R rating. In an interview with comicbook.com, Feige debunked the rumor outright, saying it was never going to be R rated. Somebody writes, "I hear it's R rated," and then everybody writes it up. He was then asked if that statement was him officially putting an end to the rumor, and his response was a simple "yes, correct." There will be no R-rated movie for Black Widow.
Could have had such potential.
I don't know. I don't really want to see an R-rated movie, but I tell you what I want to see even less is a PG-13 Black Widow origin story. Because we just got that. Remember Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it
was
either,
awful.
but it didn't look interesting. It was literally like the same concept as Black Widow, and like
It was awful.
I don't care. Like this might be the first one that like doesn't do as well. The fact that the Winter Soldier might be in it could help it, but if it's literally going to be like her coming up, I mean the premise itself is ridiculous. They can't really train people believably like that. Someone just tells you that's her backstory and you accept it. But if you're actually going to watch her be trained to be like some invincible brainwashed assassin is like, all right, whatever. Let's talk about James Gunn and Kevin Feige. In an interview with Cinema Blend, Feige was asked about Gunn's role in the MCU and if his influence will still be felt even though he is gone. He said, his influence was Guardians. It was Guardians. It was his input on Guardians and the Avengers films, as you've seen in Infinity War, and on the Guardians 3 script, which we're still using. So you'll see that influence. I think online, sort of the notion of architect across multiple cosmic things was slightly blown out of proportion. So people were saying that James Gunn is behind the scenes, like he's building the Marvel cosmic side. And it's all based off the Guardians. And clearly the Guardians were meant to introduce Thanos, as we talked about last week. But Feige's saying that was it. It was just Guardians. It was never
And
more.
honestly, I don't care that much. I know some people will be like upset about it. I don't care.
I don't care either. I'm with you. Okay. The rumor is a new Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series is Disney's next streaming project on Disney Plus. So it's not going to be a movie. It seems like they're backing off all those spin-off stuff for now. And they're just going to do like trilogy movies. Yeah. But so it's Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like in a series, his shtick could get old. You know what I'm saying?
Hearing some weird noise.
Yeah, someone is. It's Everett.
Okay. Yeah, I agree that it could get old. It could get old and it'll be strange.
Especially if he's like tied in Tatooine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Arrested Development. The second half gets an official release date. It will be out March 15th. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the second half of the season. And it's the 5th season. The first half was not great, right? Isn't that what
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Like, yeah, I remember it not being good. And the first 3 were good. The 4th one was weird. And the 5th one was not good.
Yeah.
So, I'll watch it. I might as well just finish it out at this point. Chris Hemsworth to star in Hulk Hogan biopic.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. But they're not going to include, like, the recent stuff.
The sex tape, you mean?
Yeah, like the interesting things.
Well, no, he was huge in the 90s. Like, huge. So
Hulkamania, brother.
There's still a story to be told there. I don't know if I really need a Hulk Hogan movie, but, like, there's material. Without going into, like, his weirdness in later life. So Sylvester Stallone is developing a superhero drama called Samaritan. After acquiring the script, Stallone is attached to star and produce through his Balboa Productions, which launched in May. Samaritan is a fictional character from Kurt Busiek's Astro City comic book series. MGM's film appears to be completely unrelated and shares only the name. Plot details are understandably light at this point, but the movie reportedly centers on a boy learning that a missing superhero who vanished 20 years earlier after a battle may still be alive. And so Stallone is the missing superhero. It's described as a dark, fresh take on a superhero genre. It doesn't sound terrible. I just don't care about Stallone.
I don't care about him either, but you know what? When there's new stuff that like kind of breaks the big giant monopolies or the like we love the Marvel movies, but it's like I want to see new stuff. Glass, for example. Like all these movies, I'm interested in these third-party kind of separate areas. So
yeah. Okay. And then for gaming, I've been replaying Spider-Man PS4.
Okay.
And honestly, like, that game is fantastic.
It's
just so good. I am more invested in seeing the future of that Marvel universe than the movies, believe it or not. Just because, like, they nailed Spider-Man so well in that game, and I want to see what they do with the rest. Like I want to see the Fantastic Four. I want to see Daredevil and Iron Fist. Like I'm excited to see their take on all the superheroes.
I agree.
And yeah, we need to see more of that as soon as possible. That and if Sony holds on to the rights and they really do span like their own universe of superhero games, it's over for Microsoft. I really think so. Like imagine if let's just say they announce what are we on, PS4? Imagine they announce PS5 with the Iron Man game.
I mean, you would buy it.
Done.
I wouldn't. That's the only thing.
You wouldn't, but like it's going to be the majority.
It's already the majority. The majority is already PS4.
Yeah, but even more. Like anyone, like if people are on the fence about which one they want to buy this time around, a lot of people are going to jump ship for PS4 or PS5, whatever it is. If, Sony better shell out all the money to make sure that game is good and that it stays on Sony or PS5, whatever. And then Ghost Recon Wildlands is getting an update this Wednesday. They're going to add a new class, a new PvE mode, and a couple new maps. And what else? Anything else of interest? I know there's a couple other things, but
they're making all the challenge weapons buyable, right?
Yeah, and they're also changing the way the challenges work, going from weekly to daily.
yeah, and they're changing some of the stupid loot crates. Not that any of that matters, but
Sure, you'll see more rainbow operators in there.
you think so? I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah, they've added more like the icons that you can get out of the crates.
Okay.
Like they add those every single time.
All right. So, anything else for gaming?
Anthem just came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
Anthem
did it
has
come out?
launched.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it has. And the reports are in. The subreddit says it's the greatest game ever and people need to stop criticizing it. And the rest of Reddit has been shitting on it endlessly. From what I can understand, it's just kind of a semi-boring Destiny clone.
What's meant to be the hook? Like, why would I play?
So it's got giants. You're playing as a battle suit, essentially. And you have way more mobility and strength than like the it's third person than the first person characters in Destiny. But it is a loot game. It is Destiny. It's a version of Destiny.
Did you read the short version of Kotaku's review of it?
No.
You want me to read it to you? It's really funny.
Okay.
So basically, like the whole thing with it is that the same with the beta, that the people are complaining about the load screen. So the fast review that they put up was, here's the steps on how to equip new gear in Anthem. I kill an enemy and a purple diamond pops out of it. I fly over to it, touch the diamond, and it shows up on my screen that I found an epic piece of gear. I complete the mission that I'm on, and I get a loading screen. Upon completing the mission, I'm given half of list of all the loot I've found. Turns out there was an assault rifle in there that's really good. In order to equip that loot, I must go to the forge where all the gear is equipped. Another loading screen. I equip my rifle, put the other loot that I found in my bag, and I'm satisfied with my current loadout, and I leave the forge. Load screen again. Start another mission to try out my new gun. Load screen. I shoot a bandit, the assault rifle I have feels bad, I want to switch back to the gear I was using. Repeat steps 6 through 11.
Wow.
So basically, like, people are complaining a shit ton
And there's
about
going to be
it.
a large number of people who just eat this. Like, they're all just buying it because it's like the new thing.
Yeah. I mean, I was on the fence about buying it, but then when I realized that it was horrible, I just completely
Games like
abandoned the
this
idea
should
of doing
die.
it.
See, here's the thing. Like, these loot-based games, people are like, well, why would I play if the reward isn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you realize I literally just played the Spider-Man game through twice to 100% on the hardest difficulty because it was fun. No reason. No other reason. Aren't we just playing for fun? Like, isn't the
Yeah,
point to
yeah.
have fun? Why? And the games are like grindy intentionally. Like they water down all the mechanics to make you grind for every little thing for a reward that
Because
you're
it's
supposed to use
it's
for
more
no reason.
difficult to make the game fun than it is to make someone play. So the
Yeah.
company says, how do we maximize playtime? Yes, you could make the game a really fun game, but that's hard to do. So what's easier to do is we're going to make it an unlock simulator. And that's something interesting for me. Like, I look at the games I've been playing lately, like For Honor, Ace Combat Skies Unknown, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I'm playing a lot of RTSs on my computer. But a lot of the stuff I have, like, if there's a game where it's like, oh, I can't wait to unlock that, I don't play it. I don't care. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new news came out about what was it? Apex Legends' new character that they're coming out with.
Ooh.
Is
that game even like still a thing? Like,
yeah, I still play it. And that's Apex, in my opinion, is a good example of that. There are like skins and stuff. I think they're all ugly as hell and don't have any desire to use any of the skins. But I really enjoy the game itself because it's fast and I don't really care. Like, we win, we lose, we jump back in.
Okay.
But yeah, what they said about the characters, they're basically just recycling stuff from Titanfall 2. Besides the guy who drops like those electric traps or whatever it is, the new guy is going to be able to wall run, and his ultimate ability is basically Stim from Titanfall 2, if you remember that.
Okay.
It's like an accelerant almost. So that's basically it. But if that's true, that's going to be overpowered because wall running is really important.
Yeah, whatever. I was thinking about it like, our podcast is largely negative compared to other podcasts. Do you guys know that?
Do you have an issue with that?
No, I like it. I think that's one of the reasons people listen to us, because like there's a certain group that they listen to the podcast because they are excited about whatever they like and they just want to hear other people gush about it the same way they do. Like, they're like diehard for whatever it is, and so like one time I was listening to one of these shows and one of these podcasts, and they were like so afraid to say anything negative. It's like one of these highly produced, we got to talk really fast because we're going to be out of time, blah, blah, blah. They're in a studio or whatever, that one of these kind of shows. And they literally said one thing like, I don't, like, this was, I didn't love this part, but the movie was still great or whatever. Like, they said something like that. And someone in the chat, because they have a live chat thing, someone in the chat says, you guys are always so negative. And they like all the hosts got butthurt because they saw that in the chat and they started to like address it. And I was like, you guys are never negative. You guys literally say you loved everything. Like, you say it all the time. Everything was great. It reminded you of your childhood. You felt the nostalgia. Like, you never really get into like I would listen to their reviews of Thor Ragnarok, and it's just like, dude, the movie's boring. Like, the pacing is so off, and like the tone is just like, God damn it, Everett. The tone is just like very low and I don't know, like low energy. And
Look, the reality is we're not negative on purpose. We're negative when there are things to be negative about, and there aren't a lot of great things out there.
No, that's the thing. Like, for as much as we like the stuff that we review, when was the last time we were really like, that was amazing? Maybe Infinity War, and even that.
First
like,
Man.
Yeah, First Man was definitely
like,
one of them.
very rarely does the movie meet my expectations, and I wish that would happen more. But like, we even like other, like, there's another podcast I listen to sometimes where they're a lot like us. Like, it's more casual, like guys talking. Like, it's not like highly produced, And even then, they'll still be like, I love this series since I was a kid, and this meant a lot to me, and so I love the movie. And they don't give it like a fair review the way that it should. And even if like one person might say they don't like it, two people still say I loved it. And like we shit on almost everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's
no,
more
I know
like
what you're talking about.
nitpicking,
Like,
right?
some podcasts I've listened to, they'll use like words that don't make sense. Like, oh, I hated it, but it was dope. Oh, I loved it. It was dope. Oh, everything's dope. So I totally understand what you're saying. David, if you're listening to this, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I do feel like people do listen to us for that, and I'm sure we've probably lost listeners also because of that, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how it gotta be.
So anyway, next week, Reign of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to that. All right, I'll see you guys next time.
All right,
See ya.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Iron Coop Fights movies. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, review our podcast on iTunes so that we can spread the show around. To contact the show, you can reach us at theironcube@gmail.com and on Instagram at theironcube. Join us for another edition of the Iron Coop Fights movies.